SAG isn't just for your grandma's britches. We'll walk you through a suspension setup to make sure your bike is working properly. What is SAG, you ask? Let me tell you a little story about SAG. SAG is how much your suspension compresses when you sit on your bike in your regular riding position. There's a few ways to set SAG, but in this example, we're going to use the buddy system. And while your little buddy is on his way over, go ahead and turn your adjusters to their full open position, which on forks is counterclockwise, and shocks to the open position. Another thing you can do while waiting for little buddy to show up is go to rightfox.com/owner's manual, find your product ID codes on your fork here, and on your shock right in through here. Enter those codes and you'll get additional information for helping set up suspension and SAG. Look, here comes a buddy now. It looks like he's a professional Fox technician. You're going to get the most accurate results starting in your regular riding position with the helmet, hydration, and your standard ride essentials strapped to your back. Your trail essentials may differ than mine, and for legal and safety reasons, we don't recommend riding with a dual rusty hatchet or an inner tube wrapped around your torso. Retain that neutral position, it's very important. Don't make any extreme movements like shown. You'll get a more accurate and dynamic SAG setup if you put one finger on the front brake, make sure your hand is off the rear brake, and slightly bounce up and down just to break stiction. Once your bike is done bouncing, like a South African wild tiger's tail, go ahead and put your O-ring indicator back to the dust wiper like shown. This will show us how deep into the travel we are sagging. Once it's set up properly, be very careful dismounting the bike. You don't want to disrupt the placement of the O-rings. I'm down here to ensure that I've used 25% of my available suspension travel. What does that mean, you ask? Well, let's take a look at the O-rings. You'll see on the shock body, I've almost went 25%. As well as the fork, I'm probably about 15 or 20%. 25% is a recommended awesome starting guide, unless otherwise specified by your bicycle manufacturer. Like an anchovy in the salty cold waters of the Pacific, your chances are slim to none that you actually got 25% right out of the gate. Have no fear. Strap on a high pressure pump to your suspension, and either increase or decrease pressure is needed to get you in that magical, sweet 25% range. We're going to take a quick look at coil shocks, because they're a bit different to set up than your air shocks. The first thing you need to know is shock travel. There's two ways to find that. One, go to rightfox.com/owner's manual, enter the code, and it'll tell you. The second way is go ahead and measure your exposed shaft length, like shown, and that'll get you there. Ours is 3 inches. The next step is to go ahead and measure the uncompressed eye-to-eye, like shown. Looks like I have a 9.5 inch eye-to-eye on my hands. Now mount up in that regular riding position of yours, and one more time we're going to measure that eye-to-eye. Now that I'm sagged in, it looks like my measurement is 8.8 inches. Now subtract your sagged in eye-to-eye measurement from your uncompressed eye-to-eye measurement, and that'll give you your sag measurement. Go ahead and divide that number by total travel to see if that's getting you in that magical 25% range. Again, refer to your bicycle frame manufacturer's owner's manual to see what they recommend. If you sagged in a bit too much, you're going to want to go ahead and firm up that spring a little bit. Grab your little preload collar buddy and go a turn. Remember, never go more than 2 full turns, because that means you'll need to go up the spring rate. If it's too firm and you want more sag, go ahead and grab that preload collar and back it out a couple turns. But don't go so far that your spring is loose. Just when you think you're done, like a wild cooked Alaska salmon on the open fire, there's one more step we got to do. And that little step, my friend, is called rebound. You see, rebound is directly related to your air spring pressure and thus needs to be adjusted like so. A simple way to check rebound is to put your fingers in the sky like a butterfly and press down to see how fast the fork returns to its original state. In this example, the tire is leaving the ground, which means rebound is too fast. This example will show rebound slower than grandma's grits. If it's too slow, this is called packing, and doesn't allow the suspension to return to its original state fast enough. If your fork has a protective rebound cap on it, go ahead and remove it and turn it counterclockwise to make your rebound faster, or turn it clockwise to make sure your rebound is going slower. It looks like we found it. It's not going so slow that it won't be ready for the next obstacle. it'll return to its initial ride height fast enough to get ready for anything in its path. And it's also not going so fast that it's going to lose traction and deflect me off into the bushes. Press on the seat, keep your fingertips high in the sky like a butterfly, and watch it return. Just like the Ford, if the rebound is set too slow, it'll pack down and won't return fast enough for its next obstacle. If your rebound is set too fast, your rear tire may leave the ground and you'll lose traction. Adjust the rebound as needed. The rebound knobs are located in several different positions depending on your shock model. Now go give her on your favorite local loop. Although that magical 25% mark is a good starting point, you may find you're not rallying hard enough to use full travel on your trail. In that case, decrease in pressure, like shown, in about 5 to 10 psi increments, and that'll get you in the ballpark. Achieving full travel is the ultimate goal here. But if you're achieving it a little too easy, like that 8th grade math test, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and add a little PSI in 5 to 10 pound increments. Now that you have your suspension set up properly with SAG, you'll notice a huge difference on the trail and will allow you to ride really, really well.